I would say today when I compose for guzheng, which when I was a teenage composer, uh, I was discouraged to compose on guzheng, to be honest, because at that time China wanted to this national confidence to be modernized. So modernized does not include the traditional stuff. So that's considered too old and too not modern. So I was encouraged to write for string quartet, for piano, for chamber, Western classical. So but I always remember there's one little girl I remember in Beijing. Anyways, so she asked me basically, when she discovered I was a composer in the conservatory, and she's a pipa player. She's the four-string lute player, and she was only 12. She was also entering the conservatory, trying to compete actually. And she asked me, says, 姐姐, like big sister, would you ever write music for the pipa for us? Because there's so little, new compositions written for traditional Chinese string instruments. And at that moment, I was like, of course, I want to. So that story always has been with me. That the youth of Chinese traditional instrumentalists uh, longing but lacking new music for their own instruments. But we only can play the music basically written from 500, 700, 1500 years ago. There's maybe that has been a kind of a unconscious mission in me that I've wanted to write more music just for the traditional. Because without new music, how can you move on? I mean, it's not like the 2,000-year-old music just boom, all of a sudden it's 2,000 years old. It stayed for that long to be lasting today, right? And we need to do the same thing as what the ancestors did. So when I write music now, I feel I'm much more um, letting myself to go with the instinct, to stop thinking about too much structural things, to because it's really in me, like my old teacher Fritz said, the structure is in you, it's never going to go away, but really let yourself to come out, flow out naturally. And so that's your voice. So that's, I think, what folk music really has taught me. Even if in China, I grew up from singing a lot of Chinese folk music, but I was never wise or mature enough. I was a kid. Being wrapped around within your own culture, it's really difficult to see the beauty of what it has been made because of a real living. You sing about your life. You sing about this moment. You sing about loss of love or new being born and romance. And now I've lived much older. And I'm a mother as well. And meeting so many people from different cultures from all over the world, I'm able to see from this uh, more down to earth perspective. I think that's what folk music from all over the world has taught me to to be earnest when I play, no matter if it's many strings or just a few strings or just a stone. If you are earnest, you are honest. It will touch. If it touches yourself, it will touch your audience. So that's what really folk music, especially American folk music, because that's where I spend most of my young adult life in, and has taught me, has moved me to write music, is really to not be too analytical,